Hi, everyone. Welcome to our How to Use AI for Your Business Strategy, hosted by the Greater San Fernando Valley Chamber and presented by Arti Dutt from TeamLogic IT. We're so glad you're here today. We have probably about 20 people who are supposed to be joining us. Half of you are here, and hopefully the others will join in soon. Let me tell you a little bit about Arti, and then I'm going to turn it over to her. Arti Dutt is an accomplished professional with more than 25 years of experience in information technology with expertise in leadership and managed services. In addition to managing her clients' day-to-day technology needs, she has been focused on cybersecurity for the last few years as cyber attacks have been growing exponentially. Her goal is to educate small and medium-sized business owners on how to stay technologically up to date while reducing the likelihood of a cyber incident. Cybercrime is at an all-time high right now, as we also have been on the news, and Archie's objective is to ensure everyone is vigilant and actively managing and mitigating this risk. Now, with all that said, she's kind of transformed into this AI specialist and can help you in your endeavors with artificial intelligence in your business. And I also want to tell you, because Arti is our co-chair of our Women in Business Committee, and she's the first women owner of a TeamLogic IT franchise. And so first woman owner of a TeamLogic franchise, their nationwide, and continues to be one of 5. And among these accomplished women, she also was recently awarded by TeamLogic IT as the first to reach the $1 million threshold. So congratulations, Arti. We love female first. If you haven't heard, our Women in Business, our Women of Impact lunch is February 29th. Like I said, Arti's co-chair, and we're highlighting female first. So we're really glad one of the first women of TeamLogic IT is one of our co-chairs. And Arti, I'm going to turn it over to you.
Thank you. Thank you, Nancy. All right, I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. While I share my screen, I want to start the webinar with, I want this to be an interactive session. I want to say I am not an expert in AI. I am a technologist and I use technology to how it works for my business. Most of the discussion that we'll have today, and I'll share some tips and tricks, would be from a consumer perspective with a little more focus on technology. If you have specific needs, questions, we will figure it out together. That being said, let's get started.
Arti, do you want them to put the questions into the chat?
Yes.
And then I'll moderate them.
Thank you. All right, let me just move this. Okay, let's get started. And I am going through some cough. So if mid-sentence, if I mute myself, that means that I'm having about a cough. Okay. So today's topic is AI. I have been in IT for 25 plus years. I'm an expert at cybersecurity, but when I was given a chance to do this webinar, I picked AI because AI is the new up and coming, and people hear about AI. People have mixed feelings about AI. I want to tell you and help you figure out how can you use AI for your business and why you should be concerned. So we're going to go over this. I will not go into a lot of technical details. Next few slides are a little bit technical, but I'm going to stop me if you have any questions. I will try to not be technical. Okay. Ways we can leverage AI. So the biggest thing that we do, and everything that I'm sharing here is what we do. What we do is data analysis and insights. I am a programmer. I've written programs that do this. What AI is doing is helping us non-techies be able to use the data that's available and use it for our business. There are tools that will help you analyze large volume of data quickly and get the valuable information from the data. How I do it is I pass the information. So simple ways. Hey, I have a tool. Hey, AI, I have this Excel spreadsheet. Can you pick this KPI for me, which is key performance indicator for my business? and I let it do the work rather than going through and the Excel and figuring it out ourselves. I have a video that I want to put it. I say, hey AI, and the tools for it. Can you? This is a 2 hour video. Can you go through this video and pick the main parts from the video and just give me a short synopsis of the video? So that's something that I use when it comes to a lot of data. Before earlier, I would go through the video myself, take notes, and go through that part. So that's beneficial for us. The second thing is business process automation. I know process automation sounds like something that, oh my God, we'll have robots coming in and doing it. And I do have a Roomba. My Roomba does my vacuuming, but it does a sucky job of it. So I have somebody, so after the Roomba runs, I have to vacuum my house. So robots are not here to take over. However, process automation, the way I see it, is repetitive tasks that people have to do, that people don't want to do because it's just a repetition and they're not getting anything out of it. They're not gaining any experience out of it. If we can get workflows and if we can get tools to do that for us, it does two things. It takes the stress away from your people, from your employees and yourself to do the manual work. And the second thing, the most important thing I say is that because you have a program or a workflow or a tool doing it, chances of mistakes go away. So it's going to be the same thing done every time. I use in my business, I use things like, and we've had this for years in Outlook. We set up rules. Hey, an email comes from this. If we receive an email from this email address, move it to this folder. An email comes from here, out of office. Those were all, we've been doing this. I take it one step further and I don't stop at the email. The way we have it is that I use Microsoft process automation. If somebody fills out my website, or if there's a form, if they fill out the form, parse through the form, get the relevant information, send an email to this person, create a ticket in our system so that we have it all done. And all of this is workflow related automation, that somebody, so that nobody is sitting there waiting for somebody to fill out the form, and we don't miss out the forms filled out by our clients or prospects. So that's how we use business process automation in our business. There are tools that you can use, and they're helpful. Customer service automation. We use customer service automation not for, again, it's not for, I run a service team and I love my team. However, there are certain things that, it's again the repetitive tasks. My client calls me and says, oh, they don't call me. We actually have a chat set up. They open a ticket saying, hey, I need to reset my password. We have set up bots where it says, what password are you looking to reset? Is it this or this? If this is this, here's the link. You can go and do it, set it up. So things like those, helping customer service. How it does it help my company? My clients get support right away because they go on site, they go online, they fill out what they need help, and the workflow rule tells them exactly what needs to be done. My team is free and available to troubleshoot and work on other tasks. So it improves customer satisfaction, and it also reduces the workload on my team. That's one way I'm using AI. Employee productivity. We see that, so what I have here is the quantity, the quality, and the efficiency and productivity is what is the center of the Venn diagram. So we use AI tools that can assist us again by automating the administrative tasks so that the employees don't have to feel like, oh my God, I have to do this. Oh my God, why do I have to do this again? And what happens is that either they don't do it, they don't do a good job, or they feel the stress of doing the administrative tasks. The other way we use is, um, once I have good data, I use the data to see where my skill development is needed for which employee. So we use tools to help our employees do a better job, be less stressful, and up their skills. All of that you can use for your company. Um, AI, that's where AI helps. Competitive analysis, that's something that I believe we all need in the business right now. We all do it manually. I can say I don't do a good job of it because it's a manual process, and it becomes I will get to it, and I don't have enough time to do it. We all need to do it. We're in the business. We know that there is with the way the business is, we want to monitor our what our competitors' activities, pricing strategies. So all of that, there are tools that you can do to take one level up, and all of this information will help you fine tune your value proposition and stay ahead of the competition. And that's something that we all want to focus on. The last thing that I have, which is the most fun part, and everything else is a must do that I have to do for the business, but the content generation is the fun part. I just do it for fun. I'm like, okay, all right. So I'm not the creative person. I'm an engineer by education, technologist by profession. I'm not a creative person. If you ask me to write an email to my client, I will take hours trying to write an email. How I use this is I go on, there are websites. The most common one we know is ChatGPT. I go on ChatGPT. I put in, here's what I need you to do. Can you please write an email? And it does a decent job. It does a decent job. And then I can tell you that I've used mm, mm, generation. Everything else my team does. Content generation is what I do. I have fun with it. And later I'll go over some of the tools that I use and how you can use them, and we can go over that part. So, in summary, AI offers a suite of tools that can automate routine tasks, provide deep insights into customer behavior, and even predict future trends. This technology is no longer an optional add on, but a necessity for any business owner serious about crafting a robust sales and marketing strategy. However, the next thing is, why should you be concerned? AI is great. It does a lot of the stuff for you, but nothing comes. It is always, there's always a cost of it. I want to highlight a couple of things why you should be concerned. So, Chat GPT, we all know. Chat, when it came out, people were using Chat GPT and to generate some content. I know that there have been and I students used ChatGPT to write essays. Programmers and developers, that was very common that I heard, that they would write a piece of code, and they would put it in ChatGPT and say, fix the problems. Here's what I'm trying to do. Here's the code. Find out what's the problem in the code and then fix it. Great. It solves the problem. The problem is that now that piece of code that is may have information that's relative to the company is now on an open source like ChatGPT. So companies like JP Morgan, Amazon, Microsoft, they have put restriction on why you should do it. Samsung discovered that workers were leaking intellectual property, and that's what it is. They're putting information, what they're so simple. When we hear this, we don't realize it. What they're doing is they're saying, hey, I have this, I want to create, I'll give you an example. I want to create a policy. Here's what my company policy is. Here's what the problems are. Can you create a policy for us? So somebody put that in their mind. They're getting Chat GPT to write a better policy. But It's also giving information about how the company runs if there are specific policies to an open source item, and it is their intellectual property. So there are companies, while we use it, there are companies that are restricting the use of the chat GPT or any other AI tools until we can figure out how to securely use it. So there are concerns. Larger companies, bigger companies are concerned about the use of AI. That doesn't mean that you shouldn't. What can you do? Um, let's go over. So I'm gonna quickly go over. This is the security person in me. I want to make sure we use it, but we want to make sure that we're using it um, securely. So always protect sensitive information. Be mindful of what you put in. It's the same thing, right? You don't put stuff on Google because you if you want to search it. So just be mindful of what you're putting in. Uh, the bigger thing is I use AI. I use AI, and I'll show you some of the tools. However, I don't trust AI to have the right content. You cannot just blindly pick what they're giving and take it. You should always cross check what they have. There's a lot of copyright infringement, plagiarism happening. Always cross check. The third one is always consider paid AI tools. I think that goes with every single thing. If you're not paying for it, if you're using a free product, I believe that you are the product. So always go for the paid options because they have put in the infrastructure for better security and they're reliable. Free options are great to get your foot in and to get your to learn, but they don't have the manpower or the financial to put the security that they need in place. And then I said the data should be handled securely. If you are using it, or if you allow your company to use it, please make sure that you have a strict data handling policy, and there is a process in place what to how to use AI. There are certain things that we in my company, they know that this is they can use this, they can put this information, but this is where it stops. Mm, and have you need to have that policy in place. The last slide, and then after that, I'm going to go into some of the fun stuff. So, what can you do at TeamLogic IT? We always, it doesn't matter if it's AI, if it's security, if it's technology, it's always people, process, and technology. So, you want to train your staff to identify what information, what is sensitive information, and how to protect it. So they need to know, depends on what the company, the business is, then you need to know what information can you put in. I always go with I always preface, if you're putting anything online, it's there forever to stay. So you have to train your staff to say what they can put in. The next is always processes and procedures. You need to have a formalized process and guideline how to use it. Make sure your staff attest and acknowledge the acceptable use policies so that they're aware of what you have put in place. And then technology always. Um, I know AI is free. It's the in thing, but use uh, technology that blunts the negative impact of AI. So same thing, have tools in place that will prevent the data loss or data prevention. Have tools in place for identity access management. Um, I can help with this part, and any questions that you have, we can do this. But AI is great. I love it to a certain extent. I'm not 100% into it, but I use it for my business, and it has helped me with the mindset that it comes at a cost, and yeah, I have to make sure that my team is aware of what that cost is and they're taking the steps necessary. I know I jumped through this because this was the boring part. Let's go over the content creation. So at this point, let me share. So, all right, let me share my, I think it's this one. Yeah. Okay. So we all know chat gpt. So content creation, the way what I do is I use two or three things. I use chat gpt for everything. um, if you can see here, I used chat gpt to, we went to Yellowstone in June. I used chat gpt to say, hey, can you plan a road trip to Yellowstone? Start driving from Salt Lake City, 4 days in Yellowstone and 3 days in Grand Teton. So that was the fun part. It gave me the information. I use ChatGPT to create webinars. I use ChatGPT to create simple, um, where is it? Balanced veggie stir fry. So I put in, hey, this is what I want. It should be high in protein and fiber. Can you create? And it does it. It creates recipe. I can always go in here and say, I don't like it. Can you regenerate? And it does it for me. So there was another one. Let me see if
Hey,
I
Archie, I
can.
just want to jump in really quick.
Yeah.
When Femi was out, and she really is my writer, I would use Chat GPT, but I write much more conversationally. So I said, please make it more casual. And then it would say like, hey, bro, like, can't wait to meet you. High five. And it's, you have to learn how to prompt it based on what you need.
Yeah, and it is all about the prompt. And that's, so let me go over, let me show you this. So here's what I did. I was working on a, you can say, act as if. I started with, I'm creating a webinar. Let's name the webinar. Here are the naming rules. And I put it in there, no more than 7 words. It needs to be interesting. It cannot be boring. You cannot use the word webinar. And it needs to, should be somewhat shocking. It came back with a title. Um, then went back and I said, the topic of the webinar is cybersecurity. Please create 5 names. It came up with 5 names. I also told ChatGPT that I want you to rate a prompt. You can coach ChatGPT. I said, I want you to rate the prompt that I'm giving so that I know if I'm doing a good job. And it says it went through and it rated my prompts for me. This is 8 out of 10. Next, I need you to act as, and actually I should do this here. So yes, it's all about the prompts. Let me do this here. I'm going to create a new one. And this is where the interactive part, if any of you want me to show you, so let me know. So here's what I'm doing. I'm saying, I need you to act as a creative marketing assistant to give me idea for an upcoming webinar I need to give. I'm the salesperson for MSP and I like the topic to be around cybersecurity. My audience will be small to mid-sized businesses. And I've gone through those and I've said cybersecurity is confusing to these companies. They've never spent money on it before. Budgets are tight. They don't value it. Could you suggest 7 title and synopsis? So I gave it a lot more information and here what it came back with. I'm going to let it finish. Once it's done, I'm going to say, please update the titles with less technical jargon. And it takes the spell, if you, and it's gonna go through this process and it's gonna, sure, here's what it is. So you have to train Chat GPT, and I love working on this. I don't trust everything that it says, but that's what it is. There's another one that we use, Bard. Um, Same thing. I play between the two. I went to Bard and I said it's the same thing I typed in here. It gave me the 7 title synopsises. Then I went back and I said, I tried another one. You can ask it things. I said, hey, can you provide a step-by-step instruction on how to increase my vocabulary? I test things. You can use this to create policies. You can use this to create instructions for you, for yourself. Um, so that's that. I want to share. Hold on. Nancy, do you want to give me something, or anybody here in the group? I cannot see the video. If anybody wants to give me something to ask either Chat GPT or Bard,
Okay, yeah.
I
How about you sit? Oh, Amos is raising his hand. Go ahead, Amos.
Oh, sorry, Nancy. It's that talking over one another on a Zoom that always. um, Artie, I'm literally sitting here right now. In my head was like that emoji where the top of the head pops off and blows up. Because when I've been using ChatGPT, I've started I think the prompting it is in the correct way is really important. So I'll often put myself in the voice and say, I am the owner of Seniors Helping Seniors, a non-medical in-home care services agency, period. And then I'll say, please assist me with da da da. I think where my brain just went, wow, was I didn't know that you can continue refining the thread
yes,
over and over and over again. That's for me where I'm like, okay, wow. Because normally I get frustrated with the first prompt and I'm like, well, that's not really what I wanted. I didn't know that you can continue the thread and keep adding more and more revisions to each of the content over and over again. So, like, as an example, for us, I'm experimenting with Facebook advertising right now to acquire clients. And so, um, I would go in and say, hey, here's my company. Can you assist me with creating a Facebook ad? Is that something where I'll actually just it's just the actual text. It's not necessarily imagery and things of that nature, right?
We'll put emojis in.
The mind-blowing emoji.
No, it does. I use it for posts and it'll put emojis in for me.
Okay. Okay.
yeah, it will. So the way I do it, I start with Chat GPT. If I'm working on something, I get the content from Chat GPT. Then the next thing is I go to the website. Um, Hold on. Is this the website? So there is another. No, this is not the website.
Well,
Um,
Amos, I'm while your Archie's looking. I have done that recently where I'm like, no, that's not what I actually say. No, that's what I'm
yeah,
talking
it's
about.
not.
Like, this is
Oh,
what I
really?
need. This is what I need for the outcome.
So you can
And
actually use a conversational style while you're typing as well.
oh yeah, I
Oh
have
yeah.
total conversations. My girlfriend thinks Chat GPT is her best friend, and I tell her, hey, Chat gave me really bad answers today, so you need to talk to her later.
Yes, you can continue the conversation. When I'm looking at it, I go through and then you can put in great what you've given. Now, can you make it more technical or less technical?
Sure.
Make it humorous, less humorous, more informative. So we call that AI priming. You prime the AI, and once it knows you, it will talk about in your brand, in your language. You can so that's you can see it. I'm like I have so much stuff going on here. What I was showing you is I take the content from here and then I go to website presentations.ai and it will create a slideshow for you. I just did one for the chamber. I wanted to give it a try. So Nancy, I know we're doing a Women of Impact event,
Okay.
and I just randomly just put in the prompt that I put in into this was we want to create a slideshow for a fundraising for a Women of Impact event organized by the chamber. We need to raise $20,000 for the event. That's all I put in. This was the prompt that I put in, and it created this slideshow for me out of the just with that prompt. And if you go through the slideshow, the design, I can never do this part. You can then go in and you can create change the content. But right out of the blue, it creates so much more than what we would do in person, manually. So that's my second step. From ChatGPT, you go to presentations.ai. The third thing I want to show you is an image creator. I have designer.microsoft.com that I use to create images. There is another one that is for Google Imagine, and this is by invitation only. But designer, and so is designer.microsoft.com. I know there's Canva. Fuyumi was telling me she uses Canva. Simple thing. So let me just, there you go. I'm going to copy this from here. It's as simple as, you know, if you,
a corgi in the house made of sushi.
and I'm going to put it right here. This is, so Imagine is Google, this is Microsoft. And I said, I want this image, a cute corgi living in a house made of sushi. It's going to go through, it's going to create an image for us to use. On the other hand, if I go on Google and I just Google this, you will see the image. It will not find it, right? See,
Hey,
it
Archie,
came matching.
what's the website you use for slides and presentations?
It's presentations.ai. Presentations.ai.
And then whoever asked, we also use Canva.
Yes. I know you guys use Canva. So hold on. Oh, come on. Try again. Let's try again. So, well, something's wrong on our end. Come on. Let's try. So that's the way I do it is what this is doing right now in Designer Microsoft. It's not, it picks pieces from images and it creates the image you need. Copyright, there is no copyright infringement when you use this. I've done this for, hey, there you go. So it generated this image based on the description that I put in. I'll take that image, I'll just save that image, and that works for me. Download the image, and that's what I use. So these three are what I use a lot more for content creation for my business. There are more. I'm sure if you have heard of roamaround.io, I've used this. This uses ChatGPT, OpenAI as the backend, but you can create, design a trip, and it will create a trip for you.
What is this?
This is for traveling. So roamaround.io.
Spell that RO
ROAM, roam around.
.ai.
Yeah. So where do we want to go today? I want to go to Tanzania. If it figures it out. Tanzania, and that's what I want to make it a 5-day trip, save dates.
While you're talking about that, I don't know if everyone, I put the link in the chat. Our recent digital magazine that came out, our fall one, was the technology issue, and the entire cover was designed through AI, done with prompts. The
It's
video
crazy.
and the still cover.
Yep.
So Nancy, when you say that, I mean, did you essentially, go into ChatGPT and say, I'm looking to create a cover with automations and video for a technology issue for a chamber? I mean,
So with Fumi found it, like an idea, and then we actually gave it to our we use a post-production company to do a lot of those digital covers, or Zarek does it. So we gave it to Quest Pacifica the prompts, and then we just kind of went back and forth. So I don't know what program he used, but Fumi, how did you originally go about doing that?
I mean, we just gave him the concept of what we wanted. Like we just basically at the end of the day wanted something that AI created for that cover. And
But
then
you saw that somewhere first.
that idea to have AI create the cover. And then we kind of went back and forth, and we said, oh, we want it to be a little bit more business. So he went back in and did it again, and it was great. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it kind of goes along with what Archie was saying about you can just continue to refine your idea.
And it's
that's what's really nice.
It was really quick because, like, we forgot that we were doing the cover. We thought our magazine producers were doing it. And we gave him the prompt. He had it right away. And then Fumi said something about, I wish it was more business lucky. I said, oh, I don't want to really go back and ask Jeff because he's at home. And then, but I sent it to him anyhow. And it was like 5 minutes later because I didn't realize he could just keep adding to the prompts. I thought he had to start over. So
I
then,
was wondering,
and he must have done it a few ways because he sent us multiple selections to choose from. So we could do the same thing, obviously. Sarah,
hi, I was just wondering, kind of what sort of prompts did you input to produce that kind of content? Like what's going in to
for the
get what you're
cover.
getting coming out in terms of what content are you providing to produce that cover?
So for the cover, I think we just said cover for a business magazine for technology, right? Maybe I don't remember.
Yeah, it was something like image magazine cover image for business technology issue, something like that. So something very basic. And then once we thought, oh, okay, that's not quite enough. It wasn't quite producing what we wanted. Okay, like can we add more business focus or something like that? I assume that's what he put in next, but we didn't actually do that part of the creation. So I don't know his exact prompts that he used, but that's what we gave him.
Well, he wrote back to us what the prompts were. And then we gave him more prompts. So like he said, I'm finding the email. So we gave him a bunch of prompts, and then he said that I don't know. There's too many things here. Intro video. He did like 2 versions at first. I'm trying to find where the prompts were.
I just think in general, like if you can be specific, I think that's really one of the keys is knowing, okay, what exactly do I want it to look like? Give it as much detail as you can. And then, like Arti was saying, you just kind of keep refining it. This isn't exactly what I'm looking for. I want it to be more of this. Okay, now I want it to be more of that. It's not like AI will tire the way like a graphic designer would tire. So that's kind of the nice thing about it is that you can just keep requesting the changes and it'll keep tweaking. And what's nice about your AI tool, whichever one you use, it starts to learn you and will understand your brand a little better. So the more you use it, the more it understands you, and it kind of will, I think, help you create more of what you're looking for as you use it more often. It's the scary and nice thing. Yeah.
So we used what Fumi said about like we wanted the cover to be 100% generated by AI. And then he created 4, and his direction was add an obscure symbolic image to represent the future of technology. And then we said we needed to be more business focused. And so then he said this cover needs to be geared towards business, and then it changed it.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's all about when we're using for the content creation, it's all about the prompts, how you're prompting it, what you're telling it, and just keep reiterating, keep refining it. Hey, I want you to do this. I go through multiple iterations, and then once I get like it, at that point I take it and then I change parts of it in my words because it has to be my language. But
And Arti, when I do it, and sometimes, and then going back to Amos, sometimes I'll say I don't like the first paragraph, right? And then they rewrite it, and then I'll put it through Grammarly because I want to make sure the grammar's right. I can check the plagiarism, and then when I have it in Grammarly, I put more of it in my own. I already started with my own words, but then I really take my own words back there, and I use the plagiarism checker.
yeah, what I use it for and where it helps me is it's the blank page, right? The blank page syndrome. It starts for me, it gives me something, and then I take it and I work with it. So it's not like it's doing everything for me, but it's helping me, saving me time. What I have here, and I hope you guys can see can you see the cheat sheet?
Yeah.
So you can take a screenshot of this. These are some of the tools. There's so many more. There's new ones coming in every day. Work with what you have, and like Fimi said, if you keep on use the same tool, it learns you, it understands you, and it will learn your language, your brand, and it's gonna get better. It's not it's it's scary, but it's not.
Even Zoom has AI capability now, which
Yep.
I haven't figured out what that for. And then I don't know, Robin Kellogg, she's a copywriter. She uses it to do headlines. And so like our new issue of the magazine coming out, I used it to, I found some headlines I liked, but then Fumi came up with an idea and I put it into ChatGPT and it gave us some ideas and we just kept fine tuning it. But Arti, do you have any recommendations of tutorials or sites that can help educate someone on the art of creating prompts?
I have a couple of cheat sheets that I have for prompts I can share. But for me, it's a lot about just being out there. I follow a couple people and I can share that as well. Um, I live on Reddit for this part. Mm, I do not have somebody that I can refer. I have a couple of cheat sheets that I can share after the fact
You could
for
probably
the
talk to
prompt.
Robin Kellogg about that too.
Yes, yes. I'm sure there are people, like I said, my goal here was to show what I use it for and help people figure out how they can use it. I'm not the expert here when it comes to AI, and but I want to share my experience and with the chamber members and other owners. So I use a lot of these AI tools. What we're saying, Zoom has it. Microsoft has spent billions of dollars on their Copilot, which is coming up. They just released for their enterprise. It's going to come down, and it's all of there's so much more that will be available. I use Otter.ai. You see here in presentations. So Otter.ai, if you're on a meeting, you start, it will transcribe every single thing that you're saying at the end. You tell it, hey, I went through the meeting. Can you give me key points from this? It's going to do that for you. So I use that. Presentations.ai I use here for the presentations. Chat GPT. Images, I do not use Midjourney. Midjourney is a paid one. It's something to do with Slack, but I use Designer. I use Canva for images. For videos, there is another one, Firefly.ai. I think you pick it, you upload the video and you say, here's an hour-long video. Just give me a synopsis of the video. It's gonna do it for you. That's what I use. So that's how I use AI. Um, I'm gonna end it with this. Um, any questions that you have that I can help answer, or I can come back to you, let me know.
What was that last website again you mentioned?
Fireflies, fireflies.ai. That's for the video. It's the synopsis of the video.
Fireflies, like IES?
Yes. And there's so many. There's so many, and the new ones coming in every day. Be careful because there's so many. There's new ones coming in every day. Be careful. Not everything is secure. So just do your due diligence when you're working with any of these tools.
Be sure and read our digital magazine. There you can see, I know Zarek did videos of, it's a long video, right? Zarek's like 15 minutes. But I know like Dr. Gribbins at Valley College talks about how AI is actually causing students to have plagiarism and different things. And so there are, like Artie's saying, there are some roadblocks. And so it'd be really great if you could hear all about it in our digital magazine, how people are using AI in their business.
Well, it's interesting, that whole thing, that interviewing with him was interesting because the more they come up with AI, stuff, there's also people that are coming up with ways of detecting whether something was written, plagiarized through AI. And that's what the colleges are using now for they have programs that can tell whether they use Chat GPT and stuff to actually plagiarize and create their stuff.
Right.
Yep.
It's scary because, a situation my wife had is that she does financials. She does the back end financials for charter schools, and they're interviewing a new prospective employee, and they give them a whole workup test having to do all sorts of problems, math problems, and different things. And the guy actually used AI to create all the answers for the test to cheat to try to get the job. And at first they didn't realize that they were about to hire him. And someone went in and said, hey, I think this was all done through like chat GPT. And then they plugged it all in and found that it even showed his answers and showed that he cheated. and they didn't hire him.
It is scary. It is scary, and that's why I say we have to do our due diligence for everything. You cannot just that's technology in general. Um, we have to do our due diligence when it comes to um, using it. Remember the days when the auto cars came, the automated cars, right? Oh my God, there's computers in the car. They're gonna take over the car, and then we won't be able to. But now that's what it is. Now there's self-driving cars. We're the same with the self-driving cars. How is it gonna work? So technology is scary, but getting to it's here to stay, and you can either stay ahead of the curve and use it to your benefit, or you can just be on the sidelines and wait for it to be the norm. I use it the best I can, and take it from there.
Archie, someone asked, do you have any tips on how to make sure the AI tool is secure to use?
Go with the so the paid, like I said, go for the paid ones. Go with the ones that are reputable. So there's a lot more that are coming out. Um, go with the reputation. Look them up, um, and in the end, just don't put in any private information. Is what I would say. Um, I do very generic, and then I take it out, and then I put in private information. There is no. I cannot answer the question if how to check the security aspect of it. Um, Sorry, but I can get back. I know Lilith asked. Lilith, I can get back to you on that.
Artie,
Thank you.
is there a free and paid version of like of Chat GPT?
There is, yes,
Okay.
there is.
So do you
Um,
recommend the paid version of ChatGPT?
Always,
Thank you.
yeah, always the paid version. You'll have more features. You'll have more features, and more than that, um, mm, paid version has more security every single time. That goes for every single thing. I always say, password manager. There are always free versions. There's paid versions. Paid versions, companies are putting in more security features than the free version. So yes, go for the paid version of anything that you see. More and more companies are now actually Canva. Like Canva is not even the free version doesn't have AI. So the for Canva you have to have Canva Pro. But if you have a chance for playing around, the free versions are good, great. I play around all day long with the free versions. But if you want to put in information that may be privacy and security, go for the paid versions.
So do we have any more questions?
James asked a question here.
Go ahead.
It looks like Nikki wasn't including the master on page 3 for the business issue. Well, she actually wasn't working for us when we created it, so that's probably why.
Um, and it looks like James said, in an effort to keep the copy new, would it be best to request an outline of the project and not the finished copy? Just from personal experience, I want to say anything that you put through any of these AI things, you always should review it. So whether you get an outline or you decide to have them do all the copy, always review it. Always make sure you're putting it in your voice for your business, for your organization, because that's something that is just going to be a lot harder for AI to kind of be able to emulate, especially in the beginning. So regardless of what you choose, that would be my recommendation. I don't know, Archie, what you think, but
It's yep, exactly. You cannot just pick what they're giving, what it spits out and use it. Yes, do what works for you. If you feel like I, I don't just I start with the outline, and then I drill down and I get the content, and then I go through the content and clean it up because I wanted to help me write this, and I always verify what I'm putting in. I always go through in my voice, my language, my brand before it goes out.
And sometimes too, James, you can ask it to change kind of the voice for you. Like, say, I might say, oh, I want it to be more fun. Can you make this more, like, can you make this warmer? You know, stuff like that. Make this more professional. I think that'll also help kind of freshen up something maybe that you keep putting out the same information. You can kind of change it up that way as well.
Yeah. And in Chat GPT, when I put in a prompt, I get the first, I say regenerate response. I have it regenerate 3, 4 times until, and then I get all the responses, and then I do the manual part and go with what pick and choose. So it's the same thing. Read with it, just keep refining. Um, I use it mostly as a blank for the blank page syndrome, so that I don't have to type the email from scratch.
Hey, Nancy, I got a few things to say. So we put out a blog every week on credit card processing. And as you can imagine, that's kind of, that's tough. So I use Bard mainly. So we use that to help find the topics and to help us create the blog and do it that way. And unlike you, Arti, I am creative, but even then, when you're working on your own and you don't have somebody to read over your emails and all that to ensure the grammar's correct and everything, it's also a great way to stick it into to Bard or whatever Chat GPT just to check it out. It definitely saves time. There's no doubt about that.
Yeah, I have used this to, hey, I want to send a referral request to my clients. Can you please type the email for me? So things like simple things that I know I can do it, but I am like, why should I do it when I can have somebody else do it for me? Saves me time. So I've used it for simple things to creating presentations, slideshow, and it does a good job. I go back and clean it up, but it does a decent job.
And I will say for text heavy things, it's nice that it, like, at least with Bard and some of the other ones, they'll tell you why they changed what they changed. And that is also helpful because that helps me like, oh, okay, this is why I could have done this better or tightened this up. It kind of will tell you how they've improved it according to your prompts. So I appreciate
What's the URL for Bard?
Bard.google.com.
Bard.google.com.
Yeah.
You could probably go to Chat GPT and ask them what the website is for Bard.
Tell me who's better than you, ChatGPT.
I know.
Yeah.
When ChatGPT first came out, people were using ChatGPT in search instead of Google search. That's not what it is. Google search will only give you one thing. ChatGPT will give you so much more. You can ask it to change things. So I think things have changed now. We're using it for a lot more than just Google search.
Okay, is that it?
Any other questions?
That was it for me. I hope this session was beneficial for everybody. And any questions I can help answer, I will try my best. I can show some of the other stuff. Reach out to me separately, and I can show you some of the other stuff that we use.
Can you put your contact information into the chat, please?
I will do that.
Okay, so I want to remind everyone to please save the chat. If you don't know how to do that after all these years, please go to the 3 dots in the meeting chat at the bottom under where you would write a message. It's next to the little emoji sign. Click, and at the very top it says save chat. Now that's going to save it to a Zoom folder on your computer. I can't tell you where yours is. I mean, mine just is a default that goes into documents as a folder called Zoom, and then the chat's there. But some people have changed the pathway on those things, and so hopefully you'll know where to find that out. What else do we have coming up? So in 2 weeks, we just finished our network connection breakfast, but in December we do it early because we're not here during the holidays. So it is on December 13th. This is the last month the breakfast will be $25. So I want to remind everyone it's going up in January. For those of you who took advantage of our Cyber Monday and purchased your year in advance, we want to thank all of you. And for everyone who helped us with our Cyber Monday, that event that program we started years ago, and it has grown exponentially. And this year we've had more people than ever participate in Cyber Monday. And that's great. We had people renew, people upgrade their memberships, purchase breakfast, reservations, buy e-blasts. So I want to remind everyone that, those specials come out, you should pay attention to them because they're a great way to save money. So also in December, our other networking event is, Bernard, you'll have to call Fumi about that, because really we extended it 48 hours and ended it yesterday, and we have announced Cyber Monday over and over again and had multiple emails, social media posts, phone calls. So if Fumi wants to extend it, I will let her. So other than that,
Call me, Bernard, call me.
other than that, we ask everyone to read our emails and take our phone calls and our text messages and anything that we do that offers you that discount. The Thirsty Thursday is December
14th? The day after
14th,
the breakfast.
the day,
Yeah,
the
14th.
day after the breakfast. The chamber office is going to be closed starting the 22nd, because that's because we're closed Christmas Eve, so that would be Christmas Eve since that falls on a weekend. We will not reopen until January 2nd or 3rd, something like that. So if you need something from us, we are not going to be available. So don't even try. No, Nikki's going to go in for a couple days, but that's about it. And Jonathan's going to go in for a couple days. But Fumi and I are out of town. So
Bye. No, I'm kidding.
yeah, bye. This is it. What else do we have to tell you? That's it.
January 12th will be our next webinar, and that will be our 2024 labor law update. So yeah, so try to come out to that.
Oh yeah, and then we provide, so as a business, if you have even one employee, you have to have a poster set hanging up. And if you do not have a new one because there are new laws coming out in 2024, we've had a member, they got an $18,000 fine for not having the correct poster up. So our free poster is fully worth it. Now, if you don't need one because you don't have any employees at all, it's just you, let us know and we will not mail you one. But if you do need one, you could ignore my email, but it's nice if you write back and say yes, you want it. But if you don't need one, make sure, like Richie did, he wrote back and said, I don't need it. So let us know, because otherwise what happens is we have so many left at the office at the end of the year. This year we only have 25. We did really good. But some years we've had like 125, and then we just gift wrap presents in it. And that's like, really, people don't like to see legal stuff on their presents. So help us out. Let us know if you need them or not. And with that, we're going to wish you all a wonderful weekend. And thanks so much, Arti. This was amazing. We will have the video up on our website, our YouTube channel next week.
And Archie will be providing the slides, so I will send an email out to everybody that has those slides on there.